Hi everyone, I'm going to continue the series of the famous Oriental Rabbanim, and we're in Uzbekistan territory now. Famous rabbi from Uzbekistan, his name was Rabbi Hezekiah, HaCohen, Rabin, who was born actually in English year 1872 and passed away in December 1944 at around the age of 72 years. He would become the chief rabbi of the Bukharian neighborhood in Uzbekistan at some specific stage before moving to the land of Israel. He also became a very famous judge, head judge, also in Uzbekistan and later on in Jerusalem. So let's learn about the great Chacham. He came from a line of rabbis. In fact, his father was a famous rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Cohen, and also his mother was Rabbanit Yocheved, also from the family of Maman. In fact, his what's interesting is his she was the granddaughter of the famous Rabbi Yosef Maman, also, which must be added on. And what's interesting, his father's father, so his grandfather from the father's side, was the famous Rabbi Pinchas HaCohen, the Great, as they call him, also. And a lot of the family were very, very prominent Rabbanim and very important people in the Uzbekistan Jewish community over there. He learned in the Talmud Torah in Bukharia at a young age, and later on he learned in his youth with a famous rabbi, Rabbi Moshe Baruch, also who was the author of the colossal Torah work, the Tevat Moshe. And he also studied with another prominent rabbi, rabbi of the name Rabbi Aaron ben Shimon, who would later on become the chief rabbi of one of the holy cities of Israel, of Tzfat also. And he received smicha in the year 1901 from a very, very prominent rabbanim, including Rabbi Yaakov Shaul Elisha, sent him a smicha ordination. Also, Rabbi Chaim Hezekiah Medini, also, who was the author of the famous colossal work, Hasadei Hamad, also, who got a rabbinic ordination from this great Chacham. And much can be said within regards to the rabbi. He was, as we all know, he was a prominent dayan, a prominent judge in the Bukharian neighborhood. Bukharia was a very, very flourishing Torah community in Uzbekistan. It was, and he sat in Rabbanut and Daienut, and he dealt with many different cases with regards to Yivamot, with regards to Chalitza, with regards to Gitin, also with regards to all the different topics within regards to the marriage cycle that there could be. There was other prominent dayanim that actually sat with him inside the Din, and he had a lot of correspondence, especially Rabbi Abraham Ashkenazi, also with a famous rabbi called Rabbi Eliyahu Moshe Panijil, also who was, I believe, passed away he was the Rishon LeZion. He was the chief rabbi of Israel at one stage, which is also very, very interesting. So let's add on more, just looking at my notes at the moment with regards to the famous Chacham. He actually later on, he visited Eretz Israel a lot. At one stage in time, he actually traveled to Israel, which is, in those days, it wasn't an easy journey to come from, especially from Bukharia, from Uzbekistan, all the way to Israel. So he came there and visited, and on one of his first visits, he actually visited the 4 holy cities of Jerusalem. Especially, he went to Tzfat, Tiberia, and Jerusalem, notably, and also Hebron to visit the Marat HaMechpelah, where the 4 great four Avot Adam, Abram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov naturally were buried over there, and had correspondence with a lot of great Rabbanim over there, including Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Kook, who was also Rabbi Aharon Harari Raful, and also Rabbi Hezekiah Shabtai, also, but to name a few. He visited in this specific year where he did visit the 4 famous cities was in the year 1911. And then later on, he would actually move and he will settle in Jerusalem. He was very, very, it was a dream of his to actually move to Israel. So he would eventually move over there. And already, automatically, he did give drashot and sermons in the Beit Knesset in Eretz Israel. He spoke inside. There was he was in the Beit Knesset HaGadol, L'Adat Bukharim, in the main Bukharian community. They had the great synagogue over there, and he was speaking over there. The place was called Baba Tama also. and many of the great Rabbanim was there, and he was learning, and then he started learning Kabbalah in a famous yeshiva over there, the Yeshivat Rechovot HaNahar, also where many of the great Kabbalists studied over there, the greatest depth of halacha, and he would actually eventually work in the prominent kehilot in Jerusalem, and was head rabbi of the Bukharian community there. In fact, he was appointed a dayan, a judge of the Din of the L'Adat Aspardim Biurushalayim, which is very interesting. This was under, I think the appointment came from the Rabbi Hezekiah Shabtai, also, who I just mentioned a few minutes ago also. And also he, to add more different things, he was very prominent in the Bukharian neighborhood. Bukharian neighborhood in Jerusalem is a place where there's a great Torah community over there. And he had involvement within regards to the yeshivat of Shas also. And he was also connected with Rabbi Shlomo Musayev also, which I have given a tour of his Beit Knesset. He's got a big minion factory which was built, he helped build in Jerusalem, near the Bukharian, inside the Bukharian compound also. I did a tour on that. I think his Hilula was just before Pesach of this year, so I did a tour over there, so I very much recommend everyone to watch that video. I'll hopefully give forward the link inside at the end of this video also. The yeshiva, he also studied, he had a very, very prominent role in this yeshivat of Shem, which was actually founded from auspices of Rabbi Shlomo Musayev also. He was also a shochet over there, a prominent shochet, as well as being a dayan, as well as being a prominent judge. He actually passed away on December the 25th in 1944, the 9th of Tevet. We know it's not the best day within regards to a Jewish lens that day was, but it's his Hilula on that day, very important that we should light candles in his memory. He was actually buried in the Har HaZeitim cemetery, the Mount of Olives cemetery in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim, Ir Zahab. He left many great descendants, also, who actually wrote different books in his memory. There was a lot of memoriams, actually, and commemorations within regards to the famous Rabbi. Most notably, a book he actually wrote, he authored. He's got a book called Ateret Hezekiah. What is this? It's to do with Gittin partly, also, and within regards to halacha and Torah, and within regards to working inside the Beit Din, within regards to working inside the Jewish court over there also. There's other different memorials that was placed in the memory of him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. His commemoration, just to add a few things, there was a street in the Har Nof neighborhood named after him, and also his son, Rabbi Yehuda, founded a Beit Knesset called the Ateret Hezekiah Synagogue in his name also. And there was other books that was printed in his memory also, I believe on the 50th anniversary of his death. This would be in the year 1994. A memorial book was published by the Bukkhara Yeshivat Association also. So a lot to be learned about him. Very, very great rabbi from Uzbekistan, originally from Bukkhara. Also, in fact, the street in Har Nof, just at the end as an added tidbit, was Harab Hezekiah Rabin Street, which Har Nof is a very prominent neighborhood in Jerusalem, where a lot of Anglo people live there. Also, a lot of the streets in those roads in this area built up is actually named after the great Rabbanim, and he has a street named after him also. So it's his Hilula here on the 9th of Tevet. It's going to be just before Asara B'Tevet also, so please read about him, learn him more, and I'll also try and put a link of the tour and some words in regards to Rabbi Shlomo Musayev, who he was very much connected to also. I'd like to wish you all a fantastic day, and I'd like to dedicate this to all you listeners out there, just to see blessings and brachot and good things with whatever we do.